Let's see.
Here, check this out. Buy a vacation home.
Oh, I love that
Isn't that
vacation
hot?
home. So tropical.
Yeah, love it.
Well, I'm searching for my yacht since I'm going to be sailing around the world.
Definitely coming with you there.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be on my vision board.
What's next for us, Aunt? I'm very excited to be here today with Alex Lombardi.
Hi, Alex. Welcome
What
to the
a
Beach Pump.
dream woman.
I am excited to be at the midweek pump.
It's a pretty cool setup, right? Do you love it?
It's actually I'm very impressed.
Oh, I'm really
I may not
glad.
leave.
Okay.
That's cool.
We can continue talking for days and days.
We're excited to be here today. I would love to share how I know you, because this is a really great story, and you're actually somebody who's very pivotal to my business.
Please do tell us, because I'd like to know too.
Yeah. Antonieta's never met Alex. She literally just met her an hour ago.
I've just gotten a whiff of her energy, and I'm like, okay, this lady's in my pocket too.
Yeah.
I'm keeping her around. So
She's cool. She's cool. And I'm her mini me. So.
Oh, okay.
You
So
This is true. This
Yeah.
is true. And I know you're already along with me, right?
yeah,
Oh, of course.
hard not to be.
That's what I say.
So Alex was the manager at a previous brokerage that I worked at, and I remember vividly right away when I met her. First of all, same thing. I got that energy vibe right off of her right away. And
Big, loving, spontaneous.
I knew I loved her. She had this like bold jewelry on, big hair, big personality. I'm like, this is my twin.
Has anything changed? Like really?
No, nothing has changed. But I remember, like, I'll never forget this. You came into my office for the first time to introduce yourself, and you're like, you have beautiful hair. I feel like we don't compliment each other enough, and it needs to be said. So I love your hair, and you're just so gorgeous. And I just thought, whoa, like that was just such a nice.
What a great remark to make with another woman, right?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we compliment each other enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's so important and so valuable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if it is about big hair.
Yeah.
I don't have
Whatever it is,
They
like
do.
everybody has something, right?
Yeah,
You shine.
Thank you. And I remember, like, we got very close very quickly, and something I will never forget, and thank you for so much, is, there was a year that I was having, it was probably a year into you being the manager, and there was a year that I was going through some personal things and wasn't doing well in business. And my numbers were reflecting that. And because you were so committed to making sure everybody was doing all right, and not necessarily that you were focused on the numbers, but you knew there was a correlation, like when people were all of a sudden declining in business, something was probably going on in their personal life.
Yeah.
And you called me into your office and you said, what's going on? I want to have like a heart-to-heart here. And it wasn't even about my production. It was like, what are you dealing with? And I like broke down and started crying, and I just shared all these things that I was going through. And after that moment, Alex had this, she was really, really great at having people come into our office and speak and create these really great meetings so that we had this value in the brokerage. And there was an agent who came and spoke from another brokerage, and I knew when I saw him, I'm like, that's the agent I want to be. And I went up to him after that meeting and I said, how did you become the agent that you are right now? And he said, and he shared with me, I'm a coach at Richard Robbins and all that. Anyway, we had a conversation, and that day I committed to getting a business coach, and that shifted my business big time. And it was all in that conversation with Alex. If she had not called me in, who knows where I would be, right? So there are a few pivotal people in my life, and you're definitely one of those people.
That's beautiful insight that you have right there.
Well, listen, so first of all, thank you, and you know how much I love you. You're my mini me.
I know.
I actually did see a lot of myself in you.
Yeah.
You're a lot younger than I am. And I saw you at a point in your career, and the thing that I think makes or made me a good manager, if I can say that I was, is like I'm very intuitive, and I always go back on my experience, right? I think if you want to understand people, you have to get in their world, and it's easy for me to do when there's that sense of relatedness.
Yeah.
But everything that I teach and everything that I share and everything that I try to impress upon people is all about that. If your life isn't working, nothing will work. Your business won't work, your relationships won't work, your family won't work, your health suffers. So it's they say if you wrap an elastic band around one finger, your finger will turn blue. If you leave it on long enough, your whole hand will turn blue. And if you take that analogy and look at each finger as an ear of your life, when one ear is impacted, sooner or later it's going to impact the other areas. So I was very interested in, always looking for what was going on in the background with the agents.
Yeah.
And because I went through it myself, like I had a nervous breakdown in 2014. I had to really take a step back, and I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. And I know that it's so preventable, and sometimes you just need somebody to take and notice, because people, when they're suffering, they don't want to say that they're suffering because it shows weakness, or that's what we say. But it actually takes a lot of strength to share, the intimate parts of you and the things that are not working.
Yeah.
So I love making people cry.
It's good.
Crying is where you get the access to like what's really going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And you give people, you give people permission and a safe space to say what's there for them. Because, like people smell, are we allowed to swear a little bit?
Yeah.
You can,
like
open
people,
mics. Open mics.
We
Open
smell, people smell bullshit a mile away.
Yeah.
So if things are not working in your life, and you just had an argument with your kid or your wife or your spouse or your partner or your boss, it doesn't matter, and then you walk into an appointment, or or even the other way around, like you have an argument with your client and then you go home and you think people are not going to notice that. Like, authenticity is the most beautiful thing. And if you can just be real with people, that's so enrolling, people want to do business with you, they want to be your friends. It's who I am. Like, I walk into the room and I'm excited to be here, and I
connected. Yeah,
exactly.
Didn't even know each other.
No, but I really want people to know who I am like this, and that's one of my superpowers.
Yes.
I talk a lot about superpowers. One of my superpowers is I know how to make a lasting impression. And it's because I want people to get the essence of who I am right away, so that gets out of their way and they're not trying to figure it out, so then we can get down to the good
I
stuff.
love that.
And I can have an impact right away.
That's a really great point, and I think that's so valuable for a lot of people to take that on, is allow people to see your authenticity right away, because it really does just break down the barriers for somebody to get comfortable, and then they can naturally be who they are too with you.
Exactly.
And that's where you get related and connection.
Yeah. And then you're like, how do you not be who you are? You're gonna pretend to be something else.
It's way more work.
Yeah.
It's so much effort.
Yeah.
So much effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex, tell us what's unfolding in your life right now.
Oh man,
Please share with us.
You just said that, and I got a quiver up my arm.
Oh,
right?
I felt it.
I was telling you guys, there's so I'm living a dream. I'm living my dreams. I'm all about dreams. I'm all about creating a future. I'm all about designing a future. I'll be in Italy 12 days from today.
Amazing.
When I was 17 years old, I dreamed up this idea that I wanted to be an international businesswoman.
Oof.
And because of something that happened. And in 2 weeks, I'm leaving, and I've been offered a business development opportunity in Sicily.
Wow.
With a Remax brokerage. I'm a Remax agent. I work with Remax because it's a global company. And I guess now, in hindsight, I probably did it not intentionally, but intentionally, because I knew that this company was going to hold opportunities and possibilities for me globally, which is something that I've always wanted to do since I was a little girl, right? So in 2 weeks I'm leaving for Italy. I'm taking a job with a brokerage in Sicily in business development and agent development. So I've been in real estate for 15 years selling real estate, but in the last number of years I've been working on my passions, which is training and development and helping people break through, get to the next level, find balance in life, which is the most important thing. Because you know what, if you make $1 million or however many dollars you make that is relevant or significant to you, because that's relative, but you don't have friends, you're divorced, you're overweight, you have diabetes, like nothing's working in your life. What's so great about that?
It doesn't equate happiness, right?
No,
it's not fulfillment.
It's all the experience of life. Like, what's your experience of life? Right? If you can wake up in the morning and feel joy, that doesn't. Everybody knows that doesn't equate to the bank balance or the check that you get, especially now.
Absolutely.
Way, especially now.
I think everything about what's happened in the last year and a half has, there's tragic things that have happened. People have died. There's been sickness. There have been people that have lost their businesses and suffered a lot. But I think that what I say is that this whole thing rattled the cages of society. But you know what? They needed to be rattled.
Yeah.
Because this was a critical time for people that if they took the opportunity, took the pause and really stopped and looked and evaluated their lives, and people are humbler. They get what's important now. They're spending more time with families. They're saving money. People are becoming a lot more responsible about their lives, about their futures, and they're starting to see what's important.
You know what else I wanted to share in that thread is the creativity that's come out of this is huge.
Oh, it's
Exactly.
been huge,
right?
Yeah, people that have obstacles are opportunities in disguise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So this is a huge obstacle, and I personally had the best year of my life in every single way. Like I lost 55 pounds this year, so physically.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, so physically, financially, emotionally, I got rid of a whole bunch of things that weren't serving me in my life. I had the opportunity to create, to sit back and decide, like, okay, this is how old I am, this is how many years hopefully I have left, a few, but still I'm at a point in my life where I'm getting into the second half, and I asked myself, what am I going to make this about? And I really, really took that to heart, and I made a lot of decisions. Some of them were easy, some of them were difficult, but once you're committed, providence moves. Like everything starts to conspire to have you realize the things that you want to realize, especially because you're committed, right?
Yeah.
Committed means I'm doing this, not this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Right? And people that looked back this year or if we look back this year and looked at their lives have become so innovative, and like even you guys, right? You've created this amazing podcast, and who knows where it's going to lead you. And I commend anybody that's like, because if not now, when?
Absolutely.
I think it's a blessing. I really do think it's a blessing. And the people that sat in the problem did not find any solutions. And if you sit in the problem, you're never going to find a solution. It's when you realize that there's a problem and go, okay, well, what am I going to do about this, right?
Yeah.
Like I say to people, so life exists in language. Everything that we say creates our world,
know that well.
right?
100%.
There you go, right? Like word creates world. So the words that you say are going to give you the world that you live in and that you create for yourself. But what I realized this year is that there's one step further. It's not just the words that you say. It's where you're putting the accent. So for example, something happens to you. Why did this happen to me? Okay? And that gives you one sense or one feeling or one emotion or one experience. Why did this happen to me?
Or like, why did this happen to me?
Because then it puts you in an inquiry, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because life happens for us. It doesn't happen to
Yes.
us. And
Absolutely.
if you take the stand and you live in the context of life is, why did this happen to me? And you really start to inquire and say, okay, well, because it's going to bring me to this, or it had to make me see that. Everything will bring you closer to where it is that you need to be. And then that's where the magic happens. Right? If you live in that context of, life is happening for me, then everything that happens is just something that needs to happen to get you to the end place.
Yeah.
I believe in that end place. You can call it destiny, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I don't believe that we're puppets and it's all properly guided and devised in order for us to stay on a certain path. But I think everybody knows inside of them. The little 17-year-old girl inside of me, she knew where she wanted to be. And boy, man, like you want to talk about, I was like up the mountain, down the hill. I went like on a separate trip and whatever. I had to come back, jumped off a cliff.
Yeah.
But at the end, you're always like, when you're back on the path and you're following God's instructions, that was the voice that I heard this year. Are you following God's instructions? And that was like made such a huge difference in my life. So this thing for me now is I'm doing this. I mean, I've been sort of sharing that I'm going. People that know me know exactly why I'm going, but it sounds like I'm going on a trip and people are excited and people are saying, what are you doing traveling in the middle of a pandemic? But it's actually, I'm realizing my dreams and I have certain goals and certain aspirations that I want to obtain. But I want to inspire other people to get, like, I'm practicing what I preach. Everything I teach is create your future and live into it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing now. So I'm going on this journey and I'm documenting it, and I want people to follow me and go after what it is that, the little voice in their head.
It's so amazing. I just want to take a step back, Alex, and just to kind of elaborate for those who might be in this scenario of that roller coaster of being swung left, right into their life. Like, what would you say that is? What is that really that's happening for people since you've been through sort of that?
I mean, I think when you go through that roller coaster, I just think you're not listening to the voice. You're not listening to the voice. You're not trusting the voice. I think a lot of it is the inner villain that tells you, oh, I'm not, who am I to do that? Like, that's other people, but that's not me. I'm not destined for greatness. I'm not good enough, smart enough, whatever enough, right? And I think when you don't listen and you don't trust, then especially as women, right? Because I'm a champion for women, and it's really the area that I like to make the most impact, right? Because women, we have intuition.
Totally.
We have a very heightened intuition.
So very much, right? And if you can, it actually lives in your body in a certain place. And if you can find where that is, and it's usually somewhere in the gut.
Yeah.
But so we say the gut feeling, right? And if you just lie down, you can tell if you're doing the right thing or not doing the right thing.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And your whatever your destiny is, because you know it, will call you there. And then like the inner villain is the thing that you have to, like the little angel devil thing, right? So who are you to be so great? Who are you not to be so great? Right? And it's a constant, I think, battle for that. But also, I can say from my experience, I just had last year was amazing, and now I'm just like, I don't even know. I feel like I'm living somebody else's life even sometimes. I can't even
That's
believe
amazing.
it too.
That's a great remark to say, It's like you're now living a life that you feel is somebody else's, but that's a true testament to you living out your dream.
Yeah, exactly.
You're here now.
Exactly. And it's like, because that's how dreams are, what is the definition of dreams is something that where there's no reality. There's no reality around a dream. Like when you say dreams, it's like a woo-woo, or it's something that's never going to happen. So then when you're actually living it,
it's like unbelievable. Right?
Exactly, right? So it's like, wait a minute, dreaming, you're supposed to be sleeping. I'm awake, right? And there's even times when, recently too, there's times when I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, is this really happening? But trusting, like I said, that this is where you're supposed to be, and this is where and remembering this is where I wanted to go. Like when I got this job opportunity. So let me back it up. 5 years ago, for the last 5 years, I've had a lot of ups and downs. I've had a lot of questions. I thought where I was searching for the answer. Like I was trying out this, and real estate wasn't really. I mean, I love real estate. I've been doing it for 15 years, but it's not my passion. So I sort of. You use logic, right? This is my industry. I've been in it for 15 years. This is where I need to stay. So I'm trying to fit something into an area that's comfortable, so that I don't have to feel uncomfortable, even though I know the value of being uncomfortable, and I know that's where you have breakthroughs in your life. But I sort of followed what the logical path was, thinking that I needed to figure something out when I already knew. Like that little girl always was in there going, nope, that's not it.
Oh, so good.
Right? And when we are moving towards our destiny is not, something that you want, or not destiny, sorry, desire is not something that you want. Desire is something that's out there in the future, that when you take a step towards it, automatically your body wants to, you try to logic your way out of it.
Right.
Your body's the vessel for you to take you to where those desires are. And if you look out into the future and you want to check in with yourself, you'll hear if you're moving in the right direction, this is the way it's supposed to go.
Right.
So when I made the decision, finally, when I got this job offer, and for a couple of days I was walking around in a bit of a fog, thinking this doesn't make sense. It's not logical. The market is great. My family's here. My business is here. I have my home. But I heard the voice. And the voice of that little girl or that teenager said, isn't this what you've always wanted? Hello, you've been asking me for this forever. So what I decided to do was to take all the logic and all of the reason and all of that stuff and just put it on the shelf. Like I bracketed it, right? I put it on the shelf and I was like, okay, what's in the way? And then step by step, I went through this logical, well, I had a home that I was living in, my kids, my parents, my business. Those were the 4 main things.
Yeah.
I sold my house, got that out of the way. As a result, my kids moved in with my parents. So now my kids are taking care of my parents are taking care of my kids. Business, I have it all handled. We're working virtually anyways. I have people handling things while I'm gone. Nothing's in the way. Like, we make a big mountain out of things.
Yeah.
And really, it's just, what do you need to deal with?
I think that's such a great point to, bring up, is that anything that, that little voice has always told all of us is really, we put those blocks in front of us to even start, to even begin.
Yeah.
And I see that, I'm sure we all have these people in our life and our scenarios, like right now I'll give an example with my parents. They have this desire to go to Italy, to go move to Sicily. And, I keep having conversations with them. Okay, well, what is it going to take? But no, we couldn't do that. They won't even consider what it would take for the first step to look at it, to even just look at the plan.
Yeah.
And that happens so often with so many people. It's like they just put the mountain in front of them before they even consider what would be the first thing I need to do.
But really, that's how we're trained to be, right? From a very young age, is to look at like what's not going to work, or focus on the negative, or what can be an obstacle, rather than like what's actually possible, right?
Well, what we're trained is not to dream.
Right. And that too.
Right.
We're trained to be,
Right, so we've been bred.
Full of emotions.
How my opinion is we've been bred in our society is to be, working at a level of this level, as opposed to be big dreamers and innovators and creators. That level is secured for a certain amount.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's unfortunate that many people don't see that or realize that.
Yeah. Well, and then sometimes it takes for people to see it. Sometimes you see it in yourself. Certainly when you see it in yourself and you start taking actions, and you see the reinforcement that you're getting from other people saying, oh my God, what you're doing is amazing. Because I know even me, sometimes people, so yesterday I did something, I shot a video and I sent it to someone who's working with me. And I sent it to him and I said, your feedback would be appreciated. And he replied to me and he said, everything is designed. Few things are designed well. You are so well designed. And it's like, you hear things like that. And sometimes you can't even take the acknowledgement.
Of course.
You can't even take a compliment.
Of course.
But it's so important to surround yourself. That's the other thing. Surrounding yourself with people that believe in you. Because the naysayers are everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? I will tell you though, like my experience is when you're living your dreams, when you're doing something, even if it's crazy, people are just like right beside you.
Oh, for sure.
Like I don't think
They're
there's...
making it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one person said to me, what are you doing? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
And then his wife slapped him. Right? Like, what do you mean?
She knows better. She's got the intuition.
Exactly, right? Totally.
I love it.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like people, people don't want to dream and they don't want to believe, and that's what I did for a long time. Like, I mean, listen, I came to Canada as an immigrant. I was, with my family. My mother was a seamstress. My father was a, bricklayer and then taper, worked in drywall. We didn't grow up with a lot of money. We were a humble family. We went on our first vacation 12 years after we came to Canada because my father had to pay off the house first, right? That was our first vacation. Me and my brother were trained. I'm really good with money because my parents put the fear of God in me with not spending money. So that's how I was raised. I was raised in mediocrity. I wasn't raised to be great. Right? And not because my parents don't think I'm great, because they do.
Well, they were going with what they do, right?
Yeah.
And I love, this is so relevant right now. And I was going to ask you, why is this inspiring you? Just basically, we're a total inspiration in that entire share.
You're living to be great outside of what we've been raised to live.
Yeah.
And that's the point, is living your life as desire.
Yeah.
Design.
What I wanted to ask you though was to share, because I know I've been to a few of your seminars where you create this dream book for people, and you actually had it be a seminar that you put together to share with other people. So can you just go into some of the inspirational things that you do for others?
Yeah, tell us about this Dream Book seminar.
Yeah.
What does that look like and why?
Okay, so oh my God, I could talk about literally for hours, but I'll do the
Well, give us
high level conversation, 30,000 foot view. So Dream Book is actually a course that I developed about I think 2014, and it was born out of just a practice of mine. And what the dream book is basically a combination of a vision board and a bucket list, but in the form of a book.
Yeah.
And so I created this tool for myself, and all of my friends liked it. And one day I thought, oh, I should make this something that can inspire people to, you live. If you create a vision board, or if you have a bucket list or anything like that, and you actually take it on like it's part of your life, not just something that you did on a Saturday afternoon. That's your life.
Yeah.
Your future, if you fill it with your dreams, your aspirations, your desires, your dreams are everything that you love, everything that lights you up, everything that makes you excited. So I believe that who you're being in the present is given by the future that you're living into. So if you're living into a future of your dreams, like that, every day you wake up and you're lit up. So I created this as a workshop, and it's actually evolved now. And because I've decided to take my talents and what I have to offer the world, and I believe in myself now, because that was you asked me that question. You said to me, what had you make this huge shift in who you are for yourself?
Right. I remember that phone call.
Remember that question?
I remember.
And it was, and I had to think about it for a minute.
Yeah.
But that's what I realized. I realized that I finally believed what everybody else believed about me, and what in deep inside I actually knew that power that was always there. I finally believed it, right?
This is a good point to highlight too right now, is because we're often so critical of ourselves, and we're always looking at like, how could we do better? Where did I go wrong, or whatever, right? Rather than when something is extremely effective, or there is this powerful outcome in our lives, like we gotta look there too and see like what had me actually be that way, right? So that you can repeat that.
Exactly.
Right?
And I just want to ask here, because this is a great point for other people to take away, is like, what had you start to believe in yourself, like see that power? Like what, was it something that somebody said? What made that light bulb go on?
All of the recognizing the inner villain, right? Recognizing the inner villain, and all of I just got myself out of the way, because really the only thing that was in the way of what was between me and my future being fulfilled, not being created, because I created it, but there was this thing in the way, and that was me. So that was the part of me, or the part of us that says we can't do it, the part of us that says that we're not worthy, the part of us that says what is not possible. I decided to live instead inside of like what's possible, like what if it works, like what if it happens. I'm not just saying it, I'm living it, and so I want to offer one of those, while I'm in Italy. But as a result now, because now I have this momentum, I've now created 5 other workshops that I actually have been working on. Like, it's funny how all of a sudden I'm looking through, I have a few free moments, so I go look through an old, external hard drive or an old journal, and then there's a workshop there. And there's ideas that I've had, or experiences that I've had, and they're just, everything's starting to pop up. Once I made that decision, like I said before, listen, you make a decision and all of a sudden you're here, you got to get here, and there's all this stuff in the middle. I mean, again, if you're committed, I feel like Wreck-It Ralph this week. Like everything that's coming at me, I got to do this, and everything is so much more difficult. But because I'm committed to the result, it's just something to deal with.
Yeah.
Right? It's
rather
just
than a big story of this is impossible, or it takes you out, or whatever. So good.
Well, it's also because when something comes up, it gives you another excuse to say, see.
Well, this is where I'd like to just highlight on that point, because I've faced this many times, and I'm sure we recognize this, and that's what people need to recognize is, when you get committed to something, the universe is going to throw things in our face or in our surrounding to see how committed we are. Are you going to keep going, or are you going to allow maybe Blow Joe to come and take you away from it, right? But all of that stuff are just minor circumstances just to get to that big end desire.
Yeah, and I don't want to live in a world where I believe that the universe is conspiring against me. I don't believe that. I believe that, again, life is happening for me. So when something happens, there's always a reason.
Yeah, if it's a little wrench, it's like, look for the opportunity. Why did that happen? It's so good.
Exactly, because then that'll take you on the path, right?
Yeah.
It'll bring you down the right way. And then it'll also gives you signals as to maybe you're not going in the right direction. Maybe you need to shift gears a little bit, right? But the end goal, I think, is always there for people, and they always know. Again, especially, you know, my love is for women, and just because we're the heads of families, you know, we're always the ones that are fighting for, and you know, people talk about women empowerment, and I think that's such a weak, I don't like that term, because I think women are already powerful. They don't need to be empowered.
Yeah.
Women need to own their power.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they need to step into their power.
Yes.
And they need to realize their power. And a lot of the courses that I teach are filled with exercises about, you know, identifying your superpower and looking at you and the things that stop you, the things that make you who you are, your morals, your beliefs, your values, and then how to fulfill on really anything that you want is the same. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, it doesn't matter what area of your life it's in. The steps are the same. And it all comes from a commitment and a belief that, you know, it's you deserve it. The voice is there. Listen to the voice. You can ignore the voice as much as you want. Eventually, you're going to listen to the voice, and that's when magic happens.
I have a question for you. What's our superpower? Tell us right now on the spot.
Your superpower is, I mean, what your superpower is for you is probably different, but your superpower is kindness and love, right? For people.
Yeah.
Because it just comes through in everything that you do and how you do it. It's in the expression of your face.
Yeah.
It's in your eyes. It's in how you work. Like, I watch you, even though I'm not your manager, I still watch you.
I know you do.
Yeah, I'm your.
That's true.
She'll come into my messages and be like, "I see you,"
Yeah.
just randomly. But thank you for saying.
Yeah,
thank
no,
you. And thank you for
your
affirming.
superpower is kindness, and you do that in every area of your
Thank
life.
you.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Your superpower is
She'll be interested.
I know. I'm excited.
no. Your superpower is a little bit like mine. Is impact. Right? I think, I don't know you well enough, but again, I've observed your episodes and things like that, and it's almost like rebellion.
Oh my God, you nailed it! You nailed it!
Right? But it's rebellion with a purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, like, you harness that, and if you can take that, like, you want to challenge the status quo, you want
I
to...
love this woman.
Yeah.
But it's for a
sees
reason,
it.
right?
She
Because
sees
listen,
it.
challenging the status quo, it could be like, you know, like a teenager that's just rebelling because they want to rebel. But you're doing it for a purpose
Yeah.
and to get
That's so true.
to a message, and I think it's, you know, to help people for sure. So
You're so bang on. I actually want to cry because you so
That's
see
beautiful.
me, and you've only met me like this past hour. Like, it's so true, and it's so interesting because it is everything I do. It's like I challenge conversations. I challenge, like, why are we living in mediocrity? And you know, just in the upbringing and the people in my close community, they don't really get that.
So here's what's beautiful. The universe put the two of you together for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody that's challenging the status quo, that wants, you know, that is almost to the point where it's probably almost annoying to you that people live in mediocrity because you know they can be so much better.
Yeah.
A harshness can happen.
Yeah.
And so that's why the universe put Laura into your life, because
Yeah.
the softness and the kindness.
It's so true. There's times where she's like, "Laura, you gotta be more rigorous." I'm like, there cannot be two rigorous people. You got that? I got the other stuff.
I'm like the straight one.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you straight. And she's like, oh, let me cup it. And I'm like, what? Sugar coated?
No, I'm like, no, I just need to be more loving in this moment. It's okay. It's okay.
But it works. It
But
works.
you
No,
know
I
what?
love
One of the most important things that I also want to leave people with is, you know, there's a series of things that have to happen in order for you to produce results in your life. Not results for somebody else, but your results, like your dreams, your goals, whatever that is. One of those things that people step over is your winning team. Winning team is the people that are in your life that are cheering for you.
yeah.
Right? And if you can't get anywhere by yourself. Like, you can, but it'll take you way longer.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be really exhausted when you get there. And the other people, like, my advice to people is always watch to see who the universe is putting in your life.
Yeah. Really
Because
good.
those people are put in there. Some of them, everybody's put in for a reason.
Yep.
Some of them are, you know, there's people that I'll go and ask their opinion of what to do because I don't absolutely for sure want to do what they say. So when I'm making a decision, I don't only go to my mentors.
Yeah.
I go to the people that are cuckoo
Yeah.
and say, what would you do?
Yeah.
And then whatever they say, okay, that's what I know not to do.
That's such a great point.
That's
right?
great.
So the
Such a
people in
great
your
tactic.
life,
Yeah,
the
that's
people
so
in your
good.
life are so important. And anybody thinks, and especially women out there, because we think we got to do everything on our own.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Don't do
let
that.
people contribute. That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Absolutely.
So
You
good.
gotta build your team.
I love
Your
it.
tribe is your
Yes.
vibe.
It is very much so. And you know, we come from a training, and
Yeah.
obviously the course again that we always seem to mention Landmark, but a very high level training of build out your teams in your life, right?
Yeah.
In all areas,
Yeah.
family, business, personal. You need a team, right,
Yeah.
to make it all work together. Is
So
a big
good.
100%. And when also when you're up to something, that enrolling the people in your team, like in other words, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Because you can't go on and take something on and then my mother doesn't understand me, or my brother doesn't get it, or my business partner doesn't know. Well,
Yeah. It's up to you
did
to
have the conversation?
Yeah, it's up to you
Like,
to bring that forward for sure.
listen, my mother and I have an awesome relationship. Okay, I just recently moved back in with her, obviously, because I sold my condo so that I could move to Italy. But so we're, now we're even closer. And my mother is the last person that wants to see me leave the country for any period of time, right? When I shared what I was doing, and she was the last person that I told, my parents were the last people that I told. When I sat with them to tell them what I was doing, I remember the conversation, and I said to them, so I have great news. You might not think it's great news, but I have great news. And before I tell you the news, I want to tell you a story.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I told them about this moment when I met this woman. And she was an international lawyer, and my parents introduced me to her, and they didn't even know. They didn't even remember that moment. But I said that was the moment when I decided that I wanted to work globally as a businesswoman.
That's so cool.
And I said, I got a job offer to do that. And my mom and my dad, they're concerned and whatever, but all of the armor went down.
Yeah.
Because they were enrolled in
love
what
that.
I was doing and why.
Yeah.
It got really present to how much this was an important
Yeah.
piece of your life that came to fruition.
Yeah. So 2 days ago, I was looking through a journal, and I had done exercises as to, one of the questions was, what's stopping you from fulfilling your dreams? And the only thing I wrote is the agreement of my parents. And I'll cross that one off.
Oh, so
That's so
good.
beautiful.
Right, so now I'm going and I'm free and I don't have this. Because listen, if I would have been off knowing that, my family wasn't supporting me, it's going to stop you. It's going to hold you back, right?
It's gonna be at the back of your mind there.
Yeah. So get everybody on board. First get yourself on board, like believe in yourself and believe in what you created you deserve. Then get everybody else on board. Then, buy some bra and underwear online and you're on your way.
Make it some lingerie.
You know what?
And have fun with it.
I'm declaring something right now just because I'm so
Present.
inspired, and present.
Are you
But
gonna
I'm coming to
Make her cry, make her
I'm
cry.
gonna see you in Sicily. I'm gonna see you in Sicily before you come home.
We'll stay at my house.
No, I will be there visiting you.
Oh, wow. You
Yeah.
just created that?
I did create that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We can do a podcast live from Sicily.
We can totally be on the beach. It's gonna be a different
Big
view.
pump in Sicily. It's coming.
We're gonna have our
Done.
team Photoshop the sign because we're gonna be on the beach, so it's not so
Okay,
hard to hang it.
we'll get it shipped there.
That's it. We can do FedEx, right?
It's
We
so
can
good.
ship.
I love it. Thank
So
you.
amazing.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah. So, Alex, you got this dream that you're living out. You're creating wonderful workshops. You've created this now tool that you're inspiring others for a dream book. What else, or what can people, how can they reach out to you?
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so you can, and actually, thank you for the
Yeah.
opportunity. So, I'm vlogging, I'm documenting my whole journey.
Amazing.
So
Fun.
There'll be episodes weekly every Friday. Obviously, follow me on Instagram. Just ask Alex Lombardi. I'm on Facebook.
We'll have the handles right
Yes.
below here.
Exactly,
Totally.
perfect. But just more so, any information which will be rolling out probably mid-June as to registration for all the Future by Design workshop that's coming up and anything else that I'm doing. Just follow me and all the details will be revealed and provided.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what's a takeaway that you want to leave with the Midweek Pump audience, just something for them to be inspired with?
Follow your dreams. Believe in your dreams. Your future is what you create. You can have your life happen to you, or you can be the engineer of that.
Yeah.
And either way, you're responsible. So your choices, whatever choices you made, got you to where you are today. So somebody's out there and they're all, upset and, beating themselves over the head or whipping themselves on the back. First of all, stop. Acknowledge that your choices got you to where you are. Forgive yourself and
Very
create something new.
So good.
You can create something in a minute. You just created that you're coming to Italy in a minute.
How could I not? Like, listen.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's very doable.
yeah.
But watch this, and then as soon as you said it, your stomach probably started hurting.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. Everybody make your stomach hurt, and I'm happy.
No, it's true. It's true. Because all these considerations come up, but then it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
No, because you gotta feel it. And if
Yeah.
it means that your stomach's gonna hurt, then feel it.
Yeah, if you're making decisions that don't make your stomach hurt,
Then it's
make
too
them
small.
feel
They're not big enough.
They're too small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you gotta like throw up in your mouth a little bit,
It's a nice
and then
visual.
it's a good decision. But here's
I
actually,
love buy some lingerie with it.
well, so there's a scene from a movie. We were talking about this earlier, Under the Tuscan Sun,
Oh.
and it's a scene when Diane Lane is in the market in Cortona, and she sees the picture of the villa she ends up buying, and the American woman comes up behind her and says, "Oh, what a beautiful villa! Are you going to buy it?" And she says, "Buy it? That would be a terrible idea." And the woman looks at her eating her ice cream with her big hat and all her glamour and says, "Oh, don't you just love those?" So I think maybe that's what I want to leave people with.
Yeah.
If you have a terrible idea, go for it.
Just look into that a little deeper.
Yeah.
Don't just dismiss it.
Yeah,
I
I
love
love terrible
I
ideas.
love
We
it.
love terrible ideas.
That's amazing.
That's where life is living alive,
So
right?
cool.
100%.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for
Thank
being here
you.
with us, sharing all of your inspiration, your life journey, and what's to come. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
today.
you. I hope I'll get invited back
Of course, you are
You will.
in Sicily.
in Sicily.
You will 100%. You're
We'll see you in Sicily, guys.
Wow.
I'm like,
Are you astonished right now?
I feel like I've known this. Like she's my sister.
Yeah. No.
Yep, she's
that
my
was,
sister. I've known her for so many years.
What an incredible conversation.
She's like the inspiring sister that I've always wanted to have chats with.
Yeah.
Like I don't want her to leave my life, and now she's leaving to Sicily. What the heck?
No, that's okay. Well, she'll be close in heart. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm gonna go.
We'll be connected with her. We will.
I'm gonna bring her to my family's hometown.
Yeah.
We're going to Sicily, Alex. Just wait, we're coming.
What a wicked combo. I love her so much.
I
And
love
I'm
her.
glad that I'm her mini me because that just means like that's my future too. So
Yeah. I just love some of the things that she said, and what
Yeah.
was really great. I love how she's a big champion for women, and I think you obviously know, like that's where I stand too. And a lot of the work that I do in my coaching programs is being a stand for women. But in the same essence of like who she is that she got who we were to today.
Yeah.
Like she really got our own individual power.
Yeah.
Like bang on.
so good.
And that's exactly, what she shared with us today is like women need to really just believe in ourselves, believe in that intuition that is naturally already within us.
Yeah.
When you start to really hone in on that intuition, then you can follow your authentic life, your authentic truth. I just love how, she's a stand for women to find their own power. Like,
Yeah.
we all have that. We really do.
So great.
So great.
Yeah. And something like I discovered newly in this conversation for real, because I've heard so many things before that we discussed today, but when she brought up the point about, language being the only thing that exists, the only thing that's real, right? And that's how we create our lives is through language. But it's like taking it even further and deeper than that. Where are we putting the accents on our words?
Oh, that was such a
Right?
key-
So like, where are we letting life happen to us
Yeah.
rather than thinking of it as happening for us?
Yes,
So that's
yeah.
something like I would
a
love. for
great
everyone
lens to
away.
take on,
Yeah.
guys. A great lens, and I love how that
Yeah.
she focuses on that accent.
Yeah.
I really got that too.
So great.
So newly,
Yeah.
when you consider where you lay the accent in the word of your language, your sentence, it has you look in such a different
Complete.
lens.
It could be a whole shift, right?
Yeah.
So good.
Amazing.
Well,
Well, we hope you got something
Yeah.
from our episode today.
been a slice. Thanks for being with us.
Keep coming back to our midweek pump for every Wednesday.
That's right.
With-
Pump it up. Let's go.
Woo! Almost.
Bye.
Bye.